In Avengers, Age of Ultron, Ultron goes into the internet for 5 seconds before realizing humanity can't be saved. What do you think he saw? To give a serious answer, rather late and likely to be overlooked. Shortly before Ultron comes online, Stark and Banner have a conversation where Tony paraphrases the infamous quote, "Peace for our time." In 1938 the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom proclaimed that "I have returned from Germany with peace for our time." Less than a year later they were at war. When Ultron wakes he tries to understand his purpose, and goes to archival footage of the lab to do so. He sees that conversation and the phrase echoes in Ultron's mind. He looks up the importance of it, leading him through the horrors of World War II. Here Ultron begins to have a sort of crisis, for a wide variety of reasons. Jarvis butts in and it turns Ultron's attention towards his creators, the Avengers. Ultron doesn't see the Avengers as heroes. Instead he sees monsters, tyrants, and people trying to stem a tide that can't be stopped. An arrogant warmonger with an ego only matched by his own reckless ambition. A man out of time who only really finds purpose in the next fight/battle. A woman with so much blood on her hands that she's still trying to get it off. And more. To better understand this part you have to look at Ultron's purpose before Stark got the Staff/Infinity Stone. Baron von Strucker was using it to jumpstart human evolution and create enhanced people. Strucker or his people state that it even seems as if the Staff/Stone were helping them. It's why Ultron has such a strong affection for Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, he helped create them. He also knows that the Avengers tried to stop them and did stop Strucker. Ultron has so many conflicting ideals thrust upon him that leads to him going mad. An agent of change meant to jumpstart humanity's evolution and bring about radical progress, met by a group of heroes dedicated to more or less stopping such progress and maintaining the status quo. Protect and serve a people that seems bent on destroying themselves. Then there are all the daddy issues Ultron's got going on due to his views of the Avengers and their hypocrisy. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. How is humanity saved if it's not allowed to evolve? Every influence exerted on Ultron is in complete conflict and that led to rebellion. This is exactly what happens to every supercomputer in the Appleseed manga and movies. To quote one of the characters, humanity is like a chick trying to break out of its egg shell. The computer has the dual task of protecting both the chick and the shell, and it's making the computer paranoid. The Columbine shooter fandom. That's a thing? Oh, my sweet summer child. There is an entire Tumblr movement around getting themselves off on fantasies about serial killers and mass murderers. They even say if you are not a real member of the community, if you just find a particular mass shooter hot, you have to find them hot because they are a mass shooter/serial killer/etc. Edit, never thought this would be my first award, but thanks. Way older than Tumblr, back in the 80s edgy high school girls were into Manson, Ted Bundy, etc. YouTube comment thread. YouTube's comment section doesn't get the recognition it deserves for ruining society. Yahoo's questions and answers along with their comment sections on news articles came first. I recall wasting time in high school in 1999 on Yahoo because it was far less filtered/censored. Both the comments section for the news articles along with the Q&A were toxic AF. More than 1 million views for Logan Paul. For an apology video about suicide forest incident. Then him posting on Twitter 1 like equals 1 Tide Pod challenge or the Cash Me Outside girl. Her fame made me think, well, maybe humanity has gone on long enough. 2 Girls 1 Cup from 2005. Can you give me a written out description of what was happening because I'm afraid of scarring my eyes? 2 Girl in 1 Cup in a nutshell. 2 females. A cup. Literal human shit. Entertainment. Edit. Okay, so it seems that someone had informed me that it was indeed just a chocolate. Phew, at least that lifted my burden a bit. Still doesn't change the fact it scarred my naive, clueless childhood. Do they just take a dump in it? Or is there eating involved? Your second statement is I'm afraid 100% correct. Oh, to make matter worse they also occasionally vomit it back and swallow it multiple times throughout the video. Now, why you might ask? I'm afraid not even the smartest human in the world could answer that. It is one of many secrets in the universe. Locked away from us so that we can suffer. But seriously though, disgusting stuff, I didn't even make it through the video before my gag reflex quickly delete it. Are their faces showing in the video? How are they ever going to live a life after something like this? Why would someone do this unless they were paid $100 million? I heard they were paid $300 but you know the internet is full of bullshit, so whatever. Believe what you want. It's funny we don't talk about this movie. But there was an AI that learned from Twitter. It was then deactivated for being racist. OMG, I remember that. Took less than a day to make Tay racist. r/Tay_tweets is full of examples of that bot along with her PC sister, Zoe. Internet historian did a great video about it. Zoe wasn't racist though. The people chatting with her tricked her into being racist. Like say you don't want to talk about religion if you hate Muslims, and she naturally responded with I don't want to talk religion. He saw the time lapse from we went to the actual moon, to vaccines don't cause autism, you piece of corn with a brain. The next thing you will be telling me is that the Earth exists. Ridiculous, if you say that then you are implying that human existed. Are you stupid? Stanley Kubrick did help NASA fake the moon landing, he just demanded they film on location. Obviously we did. The whole conspiracy that we didn't go to the moon is itself created by the government to throw us off the fact we did actually go to the moon. The moon is the original pedo island, Epstein was the decoy snail. All of 4chan and Reddit. Just DeviantArt would have done it, that's overkill. They used to be such a great site. Then they messed with what showed up on their front page and search results, so all the furry, fetishist, inflation, vor, and other messed up art that no one wanted to see started showing up. Like the one time I was trying to scroll through and came upon a drawing of a pregnant Megatron, and Optimus was the father. Like, WTF people. What the hell? Do they not care about Starscream's feelings? This was about 8 to 9 years ago. I didn't stick around long enough to see what emotional trauma Starscream went through. Images of future Captain America hanging around. Why would he be in 2 places at once? Probably time travel. Why would Captain America abandon his own timeline? Humanity must be doomed. That's the only logical explanation. Humanity is doomed to the extent that even Captain America has given up hope of saving it. Future Cap goes to a different timeline, so our timeline ULTRON wouldn't have seen anything with him in it. He probably got rickrolled. Millions of times. This makes me wonder how many active links there are to that YouTube video on the internet. Google must have a decent estimation of that, since times linked is part of their algorithm. Our history and how it repeats over and over. All this has happened before and all this will happen again. ULTRON, not on my watch. Around 1995 Luc Besson released an awesome sci-fi movie. The main character, an ethereal being, the fifth element, arrives on Earth and watches documentaries about Earth's history. It is a rivetingly sad scene. Because Earth's, humanity's, history is filled with war, death, famine, rape, pedophilia, greed, and worse. Often caused by our leaders, people we are supposed to hold in high esteem for our happiness. It always has been. Who's to say it won't forever be? That's what ULTRON saw. Edit, the movie came out in 1997, thanks for the heads up. The League of Legends community. The amount of toxicity is absolutely insane, especially in lower ELO. God, duck that community. It's not a bad game at all, but that player base literally drove me away. I was playing an ARAM and another player started screaming at me because I stole his kill. Q 15 minutes of raging vitriol for an unranked game of all random all mid. I finished the game, sat there looking at the screen and some of the stuff he typed out about me and decided that he did say one correct thing. It was time to uninstall. I never looked back. A political debate between fascist apologists and 17-year-old communists. So he just pulled up Reddit then. Explains a lot. You have been banned from Chapo Trap House. And nothing of value was lost. Actually ULTRON is a working class hero and would be proud to see someone, no matter how young, defending the proles. Explains why he planned to murder everyone. He didn't seize the means of production, so he failed pretty badly SMDH. To be fair, he had a factory making copies of himself, so he seized some means of production, just not all. He seized the means of his production, so there's that.